Yo, what's up guys? It's Noah here, and in today's video, I'm going to be breaking down the NBA slate on Draftkings for Tuesday, January the 24th. Once again, we got a 7-game slate for today, so as always guys, we're going to go game by game, give a quick breakdown of this 7-game slate, what I do like, taking a first look on Monday night when I'm making this video. But before we do get started with the breakdown, as always, if you guys do enjoy these DFS videos, and if they do help you out, please hit that like button down below. I always appreciate the likes, guys. Hit that subscribe button if you have not yet. And if you guys are new to the channel, you've never checked out PrizePicks before, PrizePicks is the sponsor of this video. Do want to give a shout out to PrizePicks because they are running a pretty cool promo right now. They do have a free square available for this weekend's football games for the conference championships. They have Joe Burrow's passing yards set at 0.5. This is a free pick that PrizePicks is giving you, and you just have to find any other pick you like to pair with this. Take Joe Burrow to have more than 0.5 pass yards. Find any other pick you like, whether it's NFL, NBA. On PrizePicks, you can mix and match sports. So obviously with this being an NBA video, I know a lot of you guys follow the NBA. So if you want to take a look at some NBA props, see if there's anything you like, you can pair that with the free square. This is available all the way up until Sunday when that game starts. So you don't have to use it today. You can wait till later in the week, maybe till there's like a bigger NBA slate, or you could wait till Sunday, see if there's any NFL props you'd like to pair with that. But definitely take advantage of this free square. If you guys are not signed up for PrizePicks yet, get signed up over there. Use that promo code NOAH when you do sign up, and you will get your first deposit matched up to $100. But let's go ahead and talk through this 7-game slate for Tuesday night. And we'll start off with the first game of the night, the Bulls and the Pacers. So the Bulls, they are on a back-to-back today. There's actually a few teams that are on back-to-backs today, so we'll have to talk about that. I would expect pretty much everyone for the Bulls is going to play. Usually they don't rest guys on back-to-back, so I think we can expect Levine, DeRozan, Vooch to all play. Where they're priced at, I really don't like much from Chicago. I really didn't like anything on Chicago Monday night when they faced Atlanta, just because everyone was kind of expensive, and I don't think really anyone paid off their price. Levine put up 35. He was a big bust. DeRozan put up 42. He wasn't great for his price tag. And then Vooch put up 49. He was the best of the three. I think looking at this matchup against the Pacers have given up a lot of big games to centers this season. So I guess if I had to play anyone on Chicago, my favorite play would probably be Vooch. But I really don't like these guys where they're priced at. I really don't like anything on Chicago, I'll be honest with you. I know Patrick Williams has had some good games lately, back-to-back good games. He's been playing decent minutes as a value play. I think he's okay at 4,700. He's never a guy that I get excited to roster, though. He's a very low-usage player. He's not a guy that's going to contribute much on a point-per-minute basis. When he's playing with Levine and DeRozan and Vooch, he's kind of like the fourth or fifth option when those guys are on the floor. So for Patrick Williams, he's going to have to get rebounds, get some defensive stats, but he's an okay value play. We'll have to wait and see what kind of value opens up as the day goes on. But talking about the Indiana side, so for Indiana today, obviously still no Tyrese Halliburton. Miles Turner, 7,100. We've seen Miles Turner have some big games lately. Had a big game against Phoenix, put up 46 DK points, played 36 minutes. He's been like a roller coaster this season. Miles Turner, it seems like when he plays his full minutes, when he plays 34, 36 minutes, he crushes. And then there's been other games where he gets foul trouble, or they just get blown out. It's a wild card with Miles Turner, but if this game can stay competitive, if Miles Turner does stay out of foul trouble, I think he offers a lot of upside. Last time they faced the Bulls, he wasn't great, but without Halliburton, Turner's going to be one of the go-to guys on offense. His per-minute production has been really good with Halliburton off the floor this season. He just needs to get the minutes, and if you think this game stays competitive, I think Turner at 7,100 definitely looks appealing. Buddy Hield at 6,200, I think, is in a pretty good spot here. I know the Bulls have been giving up a lot of three-pointers this season. They've been giving up a lot of three-pointers made. So obviously that sets up perfect for Buddy Hield's skill set. He's a guy that's going to take a lot of threes. When he has a good game, it's usually because he gets hot from three. And when he faced the Bulls earlier this year, he had a good game, 37 DK points, played 32 minutes. So I'm actually interested in Buddy Hield today. I think the matchup sets up pretty well for him. And then TJ McConnell, I do want to talk about. So TJ McConnell started last game alongside Andrew Nembhard, and he played a ton of minutes. He played 39 minutes, had 55 DraftKings points. He had a triple-double last game. TJ McConnell's a really good per-minute producer. When he gets 30-plus minutes, he can put up really big games. Obviously, we saw that last game. Without Halliburton, he's a guy that can handle the ball a lot. He can get assists. He's not like a great scorer, but he'll find ways to get put the ball in the basket. He actually can rebound. He's a really small guy, but he rebounds pretty well. We've seen him have games where he gets 7, 8, 9 rebounds. He had 10 rebounds last game. So assuming TJ McConnell is still in the starting lineup, I think at 6,100, he's on my radar for today. Andrew Nembhard is questionable, so we do need to keep an eye on this. Obviously, if Nembhard gets ruled out, that's even better for TJ McConnell. If Nembhard plays, I don't mind him at 4,900. I think his minutes should be pretty secure, especially if he's playing alongside McConnell. I think that does secure his minutes. As of late, Nembhard's been getting in foul trouble, but I think as long as he avoids foul trouble, he'll probably play low 30s minutes, which definitely makes him a viable option at 4,900. But like Benedict Mathurin, 5,400, I think is okay. Don't love him at that price tag though. But I think he would get a little bit of a boost if Nembhard's out. Aaron Naismith, probably going to pass on. Like, I think that's pretty much it for Indiana. Definitely favorite plays here are Turner, Hield, and McConnell, assuming that McConnell is still starting. But let's move on to the next game, talk about Boston and Miami. So for Boston today, they are another team on a back-to-back. Have to monitor their injury report. They did have some guys, out on Monday night. They didn't have Malcolm Brogdon. They didn't have Marcus Smart, and Robert Williams was out as well. I think Robert Williams sat out Monday so that he could play today, and I think it's pretty likely that Al Horford doesn't play today. I don't think Al Horford has been playing on back-to-backs this season, so my lean is that Horford will sit today and Williams will play. Now, it's a really tough matchup against Miami, but Robert Williams is one of these guys that can be really productive when he gets minutes, and I think if Horford were to be ruled out, we could probably expect like 28, 30 minutes for Robert Williams. They're going to need his size in this matchup against Bam Adebayo, so even though it's a really tough matchup, I actually kind of like Robert Williams today if he's starting and assuming he's on no minutes limit or anything, which I think I don't think he would be. If Horford does get ruled out, I do feel pretty good about Robert Williams as a play. And then Smart and Brogdon are kind of big injuries, so without Smart and Brogdon on Monday night, Derek White, Peyton Pritchard were two guys that benefited. Derek White kind of got off to a slow start, but picked things up in the second half, put up 27 DK points, played 27 minutes. He only played like 9 minutes in the first half. It was really weird. I think he got benched in the first half, but he had a really good second half. I think if Brogdon and Smart are out again, I still do like Derek White quite a bit at 5,400. And then we saw Peyton Pritchard play quite a bit. He played 31 minutes, was not very productive. But if he continues to get those minutes, without Brogdon, without Smart, at his price tag, I think he is still in play for value. But that's probably it for Boston. Grant Williams played a decent amount. He got into some foul trouble, but I'm not super interested in him at his price tag. And then, Tatum and Brown, where they're priced at in a matchup against Miami, I don't love either one. Tatum, wasn't great on Monday night, played 38 minutes, only had 46 DK points. Jaylen Brown was better. He wasn't as good. He had 38 DK points in 37 minutes. I would expect these guys to, have better games than they did Monday night, but again, where they're priced at, I don't love either one. I'm thinking, for Boston, I'm really looking to Robert Williams if he plays and if he plays and Horford is out, and then for the guards, Smart, Brogdon, if they're out, I'm looking to Derek White, and I think Peyton Pritchard would be okay as well. But now on the other side with Miami, so for Miami today, I really don't like much here. Do want to mention though that some of the price tags have really come down on these Miami guys. Jimmy Butler is 7,600. Like, that's got to be the cheapest price tag we've seen on Jimmy Butler all season. I'm pretty sure it is. We haven't seen Jimmy Butler in the 7Ks all season. So, man, I know the matchup's really tough, but I feel like Jimmy Butler gets up for these games, like against these big-time opponents. I think this is a national TV game, so I kind of like Jimmy Butler where he's priced at. Like, 7,600 is really cheap for Jimmy Butler. I know his production hasn't been great lately, but you got to feel like he's going to have a good game at some point. Bam Adebayo, don't love the matchup for him either, but his price tag is also coming down a little bit. I think at 8,100, he's playable. I would prefer Butler, though, I think, at 7,600. And then Hero and Lowry, where they're priced at, I really don't like either one. Lowry is super cheap, but he really just hasn't been getting a ton of minutes lately. He did play 30 minutes last game. I think he probably plays about 30 minutes again. Look, Lowry, 30 minutes from Lowry at 4,800 definitely makes him a viable option, but not a guy that I'm, like, in love with. Really, I think my favorite play from Miami is definitely Jimmy Butler. 7,600 for Jimmy Butler. That does feel too cheap to me. But that's probably it for the Heat. Let's move on to the next game, Cleveland and the Knicks. Starting off on the Knicks side, with this Knicks team, we kind of know the deal here. Julius Randle, Jalen Brunson, RJ Barrett going to play huge minutes on a nightly basis, and the offense is really going to run through those three guys. Randle's 10K. I don't love this matchup against Cleveland, but Randle just continues to play massive minutes every night. His usage is great. He's rebounding a ton right now. Without Mitchell Robinson, you would only expect his rebounding numbers to be even better. So I think Randle's viable at 10K. I think Brunson's viable at 8K. I think Barrett's viable at 7K. None of these guys are priority plays for me, but again, these guys are just playing so many minutes that there's a path to one of them having a good game here, even in a tough matchup. And then looking for like some value on the Knicks, I don't see much value. So Mitchell Robinson, has been out the last few games, and they've been starting Jericho Sims. Now, Jericho Sims, he actually has played a decent amount, 28 and 33 minutes, but he's just not that good of a permanent producer. Even when he does get like 30 minutes, like he can still put up like 15 Draftkings points. He's kind of like out there for defense. He's kind of out there for like hustle. Like he's not a guy that's going to score a ton. He's for him to have a really big game, he's almost going to have to get like a double-double, which for him to get a double-double, he's going to have to get like a lot of putbacks. And this doesn't feel like the best matchup for Jericho Sims. Cleveland does a really good job limiting production to centers. They do a really good job limiting points in the paint. And that's where Jericho Sims, all of his production is going to come from points in the paint, getting putbacks, crashing the glass. And this is not the best matchup for that. I think because he is so cheap and he has power forward center eligibility, he's still on my radar, but I'm not like slamming Jericho Sims into my lineups. I don't think he's like this fantastic value. I did like Isaiah Hartenstein last slate, but it seems like they don't really want to give him minutes right now. He's a much better permanent producer than Jericho Sims, but they seem to be wanting to play Sims over Hartenstein, so can't really go to Hartenstein right now. I think that's really it for the Knicks. Emmanuel Quickley was out last game, and I think if he does get ruled out again, you probably see more minutes for Quentin Grimes, maybe some more minutes for like an Evan Fournier. Fournier last game played 21 minutes, but these guys, Fournier is just like a dart throw. Grimes at his salary, I don't love. I think he's playable, but don't love him. So I think that's it for the Knicks. And then on the Cleveland side, so Donovan Mitchell expected back for this game. Looks like he's probably expected to play. So with Mitchell coming back, that pretty much takes me off of Garland, takes me off of LeVert, Evan Mobley and Jared Allen. I don't love either one in the spot. Mitchell at 8,800, I don't mind. I think he's playable, but he's probably going to be guarded by Quentin Grimes, really strong defender. Don't think it's the best matchup for Mitchell. Plus, it's his first game back from injury, so yeah, I think Cleveland, for the most part, is kind of like a full fade for me. I really don't see much I like here. As a one lineup guy, in my one lineup today, I don't really see myself playing anyone on Cleveland, I don't think. So let's go ahead and move on to the next game, the Nuggets and the Pelicans. Starting off on the Nuggets side, big injuries to watch for the Nuggets here. Nikola Jokic questionable for this game, and I think Michael Porter Jr., he's questionable as well. So Jokic, I think, has been out like the last 2 games, which is kind of surprising. I thought they were just kind of resting Jokic that time they played on the back-to-back, but they actually sat him out, their previous game too. So this will be something to keep an eye on. If Jokic remains out, we can obviously expect a really big role for Jamal Murray, really big role for Aaron Gordon. If Michael Porter Jr. were to play, we could expect him to get a bump as well. Bruce Brown, I think, gets a little boost too. Jamal Murray would definitely be the guy that looks the most appealing. He's been amazing these last few games without Jokic. 58 DK points, had a triple-double against Indiana. 45 DK points last game against OKC. He would play a ton. Offense would run through him. Murray would be a really good play today. If Jokic is out, I would have a little bit of interest in Aaron Gordon too. Even though his price tag's coming up, I think Aaron Gordon will still be viable. And then Michael Porter Jr., if he plays, I think he'd be viable. If he doesn't play, we probably will see Bruce Brown start again. I think Brown started in place of Porter in their last game, played 36 minutes. So if Bruce Brown winds up starting again, he's going to be a really good option at 5,200. And then we actually did see Zeke Naji play pretty well last game. It was a really good matchup against OKC, but last 2 games that he has started, he's played pretty well. 26 minutes, 28 minutes, 20, 32 Draftkings points. Matchup here against Jonas Valanciunas is definitely scary. I worry about foul trouble going up against J-Val, but it seems like Zeke Naji is going to be the guy that gets those center minutes if Jokic is out, so I don't mind him at 4K if you're looking for a cheap value at the center position. Obviously, if Jokic plays, you can always go to Jokic as a pay-up option. I'm a little hesitant just because it is his first game back from injury if he were to play. But man, Jokic is just one of these guys that can crush in any matchup. He put up a huge game against the Pelicans earlier this year, so yeah, for sure into Jokic. I think he would be in play if he does go. But that'll do it for Denver. Now on the other side with the Pelicans, so still no Zion, and I think Brandon Ingram is doubtful. So Brandon Ingram not expected back quite yet. CJ McCollum's in a pretty good spot. We've seen Denver give up some big games to point guards this season. McCollum didn't do that well against Denver earlier this year, but we know the usage of the opportunity is going to be there without Zion and without Ingram. I don't mind CJ McCollum today, 8,200. For me, Jonas Valanciunas, I think it's a wait and see for Jonas Valanciunas. If Jokic plays, I'm not super interested in J-Val just because Jokic can draw fouls so well, and I definitely worry about foul trouble for J-Val going up against Jokic. Plus, Jokic does a pretty good job limiting production to opposing centers. But if Jokic is out, then I think the matchup becomes a lot better for J-Val. I think he could definitely do well against Zeke Naji. So yeah, that's kind of a wait and see for me right now on J-Val. I like the spot if Jokic is out, but if Jokic plays, I'll probably be passing on him. And then for some other guys, I think Najee Marshall did not play the last game. He's questionable for today. If he doesn't play, we probably would see. I can't even remember who started last game. I didn't pay too much attention to NBA on Saturday. I think it was think it was Dyson Daniels. I think they went with McCollum, J-Val, Murphy, Herb, and then, yeah, Dyson Daniels, I think, was the starting lineup. So there's really not going to be much value if Zeke Najee gets ruled out, but minutes would be more secure for Herb, for Trey Murphy too. But like on this slate, none of those guys really look that great. That's probably it for the Pelicans. I don't love too much on the Pelicans here, but I definitely think it's a good spot for CJ McCollum. And if Jokic is out, I think it's a sneaky good spot for Jonas Valanciunas. But that'll do it for that game. Let's move on to the next game, the Wizards and the Mavericks. So we'll start off on the Mavericks side. Still no Christian Wood for the Mavericks, so we can expect the offense to kind of run through three guys: Luka, Spencer Dinwiddie, Tim Hardaway Jr. Those are going to be the three guys that really dominate the usage, do a lot of the offense. Obviously, Luka's going to carry a massive workload here, going to play huge minutes. I think the matchup against Washington is fine. Washington, I don't think they really have anyone to stop Luka here. We know the matchup, or at least the usage, the volume is going to be there for Luka. Luka's pretty much in play every single slate. Now, he is really expensive. He's 12.6. If you're paying 12.6 for Luka, you kind of want him to put up like 70, 75. Is this a spot where I think Luka can put up 70, 75? I think it's possible. But we'll have to wait and see like what kind of value opens up. If no value opens up, I don't see myself really slamming Luka into my lineups. But if there's value and I can fit him, I definitely am always down to play Luka just because he can put up a huge game any night. And then Tim Hardaway and Spencer Dinwiddie, where they're priced at, neither one looked that great. It's a revenge game for Dinwiddie. He should take on a bigger role without Christian Wood, but I think 6,500, he's priced correctly for today. Tim Hardaway Jr., 5,600, I think he's priced about right. He had a big game last game, but normally when he's priced in the mid 5K, 6K range, I don't get excited to roster him. And I really don't see anything else on Dallas, even without Christian Wood. Dwight Powell, he's not a guy that I really ever look to roster. He's not that good of a permanent producer with how they use him. He played 33 minutes against Miami and literally had 18 Draftkings points. He hasn't shown much permanent upside this season. So, I'm not really interested in Dwight Powell. And then on the other side with the Wizards, so no Kristaps Porzingis is the big news for Washington. Without Porzingis, we can expect big roles for Kyle Kuzma and Bradley Beal. Both of them are definitely too cheap today. Kuzma is 7,900, Beal is 7,300. I think both Kuzma and Beal look really appealing here. Kuzma, I made him the thumbnail for today. I think he's in a great spot. Probably going to get the Dorian Finney-Smith matchup. Dorian Finney-Smith, a really strong defender, but Kuzma's just going to have so much usage here. He's been rebounding really well this season. His usage is going to increase without Porzingis. His rebounding numbers should also be better without Porzingis. The price tag at 7,900 is definitely too cheap. So really like Kyle Kuzma, really like Bradley Beal as well. I know Beal has seen a big boost this season without Porzingis on the floor. Now, the last two games that Beal has played, both those were games where he came back from injury against the Knicks and against the Magic. Played just 29 and 28 minutes. I think last game he might have gotten pulled early because they won by 20. I think he might have lost some minutes because of blowout. We're probably going to get full minutes from Bradley Beal today, if not close to full minutes. And 7,300 is definitely way too cheap for Bradley Beal if he's playing full minutes here without Porzingis as well. So I definitely like Bradley Beal. I think you can play him and Kuzma together. I don't have an issue with that. And then Monte Morris, I think he gets a little boost without Porzingis. Monte Morris hasn't shown a ton of upside this season, but at 5K, I think he's viable on this slate. I think he is at least a playable option. And then Daniel Gafford is going to be a really good value. Daniel Gafford had been starting, alongside Porzingis. Now he should be this, clear starting center, should play all of his minutes as center. And without Porzingis, I think his minutes become a lot more secure. I think we'll probably see 26, 28 minutes from Gafford, maybe 30 minutes. He hasn't played 30 minutes that much this season. I don't know if he's played 30 minutes all season, but without Porzingis here, I think the minutes are definitely going to be there for Gafford. He's going to play enough to where 4,300 he can pay off this price tag. Gafford is a pretty good permanent producer, so he's a really, really strong value. And then do want to mention that Rui Hachimura was traded to the Lakers, so without Rui Hachimura now, minutes are probably going to be more secure for a guy like Deni Avdija. I think they might start Deni Avdija here. If I had to guess, the starting lineup will be Monte Morris, Bradley Beal, Deni Avdija, Kuzma, and then Gafford. So if Avdija winds up starting, I think he's probably going to play a lot here, just because they don't have Rui. They need someone that can defend, and he's kind of like their best defender. I guess he'll probably guard Luka here. So yeah, at 4K, if we're going to get starting Deni Avdija at 4K for 30 plus minutes, I'm interested in him as a value play. So there's definitely value to like on the Wizards. There's obviously some good plays in Kuzma and Beal as well. Washington's definitely one of the more appealing teams to target on the slate. You're going to have to look to these guys because no Porzingis, no Rui. They're pretty short-handed here. But that'll do it for the Wizards. Let's go ahead and move on to the next game, Charlotte and Phoenix. Charlotte, another team on a back-to-back today, so we're going to have to monitor their injury report. LaMelo Ball did not play in their game on Monday night. I think he might play here, given that it's a back-to-back. I think The idea for them was to either play, sit him out Monday night, play him Tuesday, or sit him out, or play him Monday and then sit him out Tuesday. The fact that he sat out Monday makes me think he probably plays today. So if LaMelo does play, I really don't like much on Charlotte because, Rozier, all these other guys like Rozier, Bridges, or not Bridges, but Rozier, PJ Washington, McDaniels, none of these guys will look that appealing if LaMelo is in. LaMelo himself in this matchup against Phoenix, I don't love. Plus the price tag's not like super cheap either. There really isn't much that looks that great from Charlotte. Gordon Hayward's really cheap, but it's a back-to-back. I have a feeling his minutes could be limited in a back-to-back. Maybe they elect to maybe rest him on a back-to-back. We'll have to monitor that. I think we could see somebody get ruled out from Charlotte. Like I wouldn't be surprised if they rest Gordon Hayward, or maybe they rest Rozier, but I highly doubt it. For now, I really don't like much on Charlotte, but like if LaMelo remains out, then yeah, Rozier is going to look really good. PJ Washington, I think, will get a little bit of a boost. Even though Dennis Smith Jr. has been coming off the bench, he's still been playing a good amount. He had another pretty good game Monday night against the Jazz. I think he put up like over 30 DraftKings points. He played about 28 minutes. So if LaMelo's out again, even if Dennis Smith Jr. doesn't start, I still think at 4,600 he's an okay value play. But that's really it for Charlotte. Don't like much here, assuming everyone's playing. And then on the other side with Phoenix, so no Devin Booker, no DeAndre Ayton, and obviously still no Cameron Payne, no Lane Shamet either. So without Booker, without Ayton, first off, without Booker, we can expect a really big role for Chris Paul. And Chris Paul played huge minutes in his first game back from injury. I thought maybe they would limit him. I mean, he'd been out for like a week and a half or two. He'd been out for like 2 weeks, but he played 38 minutes in his first game back and was really productive, had 54 DraftKings points. That was a tougher matchup against Memphis. Now he gets a really good matchup against Charlotte. So I think Chris Paul, 7,500, looks like a really good play today. I have a lot of interest in Chris Paul. Mikal Bridges at 7,200, I'm not as interested in. The bigs from Phoenix, like without DeAndre Ayton, I think there is going to be some value to go to here. Bismack Biyombo last game that he started in place of Ayton was pretty good. Now, Ayton did play the game against Memphis, but the game against Indiana, that was a game that Ayton was out. And Biyombo played really well, played 30 minutes, had 42 DraftKings points. We obviously love this matchup. Centers against Charlotte has been a matchup we've looked to target all season. They've been like the best matchup for centers going up against Charlotte. So I know Bismack Biyombo, like he's made some starts this season and has been pretty bad, but the matchup is so good here. He played really well the last game he started. At 3,600, I definitely like Biyombo as a value play today. And I think Torrey Craig's kind of a solid value as well. We've seen him get a boost without DeAndre Ayton. He had a really good game last game. His rebounding numbers have seen a nice boost with Ayton off the floor. 4,700, I do have some interest in Torrey Craig for value here. But definitely favorite plays from Phoenix are Chris Paul and Bismack Biyombo. Cam Johnson, probably not going to play enough to be worth rostering. But, since he's come back from his injury, he has played 22 and 29 minutes. Charlotte, I know they have given up a lot of three-pointers this season, so I think this matchup sets up pretty well for Cam Johnson. Don't mind him at 5,100, but not a guy that I'm really running to roster. Again, favorite plays from Phoenix for me, CP3 and Bismack Biyombo. But let's go ahead and move on to the last game of the night, the late night hammer, the Lakers and the Clippers. This should be a fun one. We'll start off on the Lakers side. So still no Anthony Davis for the Lakers. Rui Hachimura will not be available yet for this game. So that they got all their guys, the guys they've had lately. LeBron listed as questionable. I think we just kind of have to assume that he's playing at this point. I mean, LeBron's been questionable for 7 games in a row, and he's played 7 games in a row. So national TV game against a big time opponent. Expect LeBron to play. Don't love the matchup here against the Clippers with Kawhi and PG both healthy. This is definitely not the best spot for LeBron, but I think LeBron's matchup proof at this point. He's going to dominate the usage when he's on the floor. He's been great lately, been playing huge minutes. If the Lakers win this game or keep it close, LeBron's going to be a big reason why. So I don't have an issue with LeBron as a pay-up option, even in a tough matchup, but that's pretty much it for the Lakers. I'm not really playing Westbrook at 8,300. I don't mind Thomas Bryant at 5,700. He did have a really big game last game, but man, besides last game, his minutes have been really low. 22 against Memphis, 19, 18, 20. They finally played in big minutes last game, but does that continue today? I really don't know. I think they just played in big minutes because he was playing so well. If he comes out of the gate, plays really well like he did last game, there's definitely a chance he plays 30-plus minutes again. And if Thomas Bryant does play 30-plus minutes, we obviously see he has the upside to pay off this price tag. But the Lakers have just been so inclined to play Wenyen Gabriel. They've been closing games with Wenyen Gabriel over Thomas Bryant. So I don't feel great about Bryant, but I think he's got the upside to pay off this price tag as long as he does get the minutes. If I had to play anyone on the Lakers besides LeBron, I think Bryant would be my next favorite play. I know Dennis Schroeder's been playing well lately, but at 5,500 with LeBron healthy, with Westbrook healthy, not a ton of interest in Schroeder. That's pretty much it for the Lakers now. On the other side, looking at the Clippers, so you got Kawhi at 10,100, you got PG at 8,600. I think the matchup's pretty good for these guys, but Kawhi, where he's priced at, I'm not really that interested in. Like, I think he's priced correctly, if not a little bit overpriced with PG healthy. I think I would rather take the savings and play PG over Kawhi. PG's 8,600. I know his permanent production lately has not been nearly as good as Kawhi, but we know Paul George has just as much upside as Kawhi. He could, outscore him any game. Matchup's pretty good for Paul George as well. So I think Paul George is my preferred of the two Clippers guys, but I don't really like either one a ton on this slate. The rest of the Clippers, like Norman Powell, don't love. Pretty good matchup for Zubac. It's just, God, like Zubac, some nights he plays 20 minutes, some nights he plays 35 minutes. Last game he played 23. The game before that he played 36. Like, you just never know with Zubac, man. It's so annoying. But he's done really well against the Lakers this season. I think both those games have been with Anthony Davis playing. Now without Anthony Davis, this is a really good matchup for Zubac. We've seen the Lakers give up some big games to centers. They've been struggling to rebound. They've been giving up points in the paint. So I kind of like the spot for Zubac. The minutes are always a concern, but if he gets the minutes, kind of similar to Thomas Bryant, he definitely has the upside as long as he does play, the minutes. But like the rest of the Clippers, Marcus Morris, I'll pass on. Terrence Mann, probably going to pass on too. Even though he's been starting lately, he's barely been playing. His minutes were cut way down last game, only played 18 minutes, so probably going to pass on him. I think that's really it for the Clippers, guys, and I think that's it for this 7-game Tuesday night slate. So as always, I hope you guys did enjoy this breakdown. I always appreciate you guys watching these DFS videos. Make sure you hit that like button if you enjoyed. Hit that subscribe button if you have not yet. And go check out PrizePicks, sponsor of the video. Take advantage of that Joe Burrow free square. It will be available all the way up until Sunday when that Chiefs-Bengals game starts at 6:30 Eastern time. So you have plenty of time to get this in. You can pair this with an NFL prop. You can pair it with an NBA prop. You can pair with different props from multiple sports on PrizePicks. You can mix and match sports. You can make multi-sport entries. You guys definitely need to be playing over there. If you're not signed up for PrizePicks yet, use that promo code NOAH when you do sign up, and you will get your first deposit matched up to $100. But good luck tonight, guys. Thanks for watching the video. Appreciate your support. We'll see you guys in the next one.